The 4-4-2 is a formation that I traditionally don't get on with because I feel like it's very unbalanced in the midfield. It's obviously two banks of four. I think it's a very defensive formation. I personally don't get on with it, but in the past few weeks, I've been studying this formation and trying out different sets of tactics and played it non-stop in Division Rivals, Weekend League, Objectives, so on and so forth, to try and perfect this formation and get it to work for myself. And if you are one of those people who doesn't like the 4-4-2, maybe I can get it to work for you. Let's get into it. Right, guys, so going over to the 4-4-2, we're going to go over a couple of things that you need for this formation to work. The first two things that you need are two defensive midfielders, obviously, that can both play defense and go forward. You need players who have mid to upper 80s on every single stat, no matter what. Acuna's Festival of Football is a great example of that card, such as maybe like a Goretzka or like a Kimmich. Team of the Season. Those are both great cards, and Essien pushes the borders, the boundaries of it. He doesn't really have great shooting, but those are one of the things that you need. Personnel-wise, I would say you need two midfielders that can do it all. Going into the other positions on the pitch, pace doesn't seem to be too extremely important with this formation, and then pace on the wings is all it's all personal preference, to be honest. Pace on the wings isn't necessary, but it will require you to play a bit more of a slow build-up play, depending on if you have faster or slower players. You have faster players who obviously can go down the wings and play more down the wings. So let's get into the tactics aspect of this video. For the 4-4-2, I want to keep it as compact as possible because it is a formation that you do basically only have two central midfielders and then your back four, whereas your wingers can kind of get lost a little bit. So I tend to knock the width on this defensively down almost all the way. We're sitting around 2 width right now, and the depth on this is 6. I've been going back and forth between 6 and 7 because obviously the 7 does initiate the quote-unquote the offside trap, the automatic offside trap. So I have noticed that at 6 it is doing that for me in this formation. So I've been going with 6. I don't really want to push it too much further because of all the extremely fast attackers that we have at this stage of the game. Defensive style balance. It's a very, very well-rounded formation. Basically covers it's 2 banks of 4 and 2 strikers. It's extremely balanced, extremely neutral. So I don't want to be looking to press. Stamina loss in the most recent patch, I don't know, it's one of those things that might have silently rolled out. Stamina loss, I've noticed, is extremely, extremely magnified. And for some reason, players are losing stamina now much more than they ever have. So balance for me is what we are going to be using. Offensive style balance, again, it is a formation that I don't want players moving out of position and running forward, because if you get counterattacked in this formation, you're done. You have no defensive midfielders. As you're trying to counterattack with like a center attacking mid, you have no defensive midfielders really to stop you from, or to stop the counterattack, I guess. Offensive style of balance, like I said, or you can look to go with possession, but for me, it took too long to press forward in the 4-4-2. So I'm going to stick with the balanced width. We want this pretty neutral, around 5. Players in the box, corners, free kicks. All this is all personal preference. I don't really like getting counterattack, giving up sense of goal, so I have to keep this down just slightly. Players in the box, 4. I usually throw Ramos on that front post, and that's the best really for a corner threat that I'm going to get. So moving on to the instructions, we're going to start with our 2 strikers. They both have the exact same instructions. Stay central and get in behind are the only thing that we are going to be touching on these players. A lot of the through balls will be coming from the center of the pitch, not really out wide, and the only reason that when we have them, or why we have them set to stay central, I should say, is because with our wing players, we will be going down the wing, as obviously it is a wide position on the pitch. So we will be setting these guys to stay central. I want the ability with my wingers to be able to cut in if needed and be able to slip one of my strikers through, or be able to overlap on the outside and have my strikers be in a good central position for a slight cutback. Moving on to the wingers here, or the outside midfielders. Like I said, cut inside. This is just an AI thing where I feel like it creates a lot better chances and is a lot better moving forward. It almost seems like a 4-2-2, which a lot of people do before to the 4-4-2. So this is the only thing we're going to be setting different for this. Basic defensive support, balanced support, normal interceptions, and balanced crossing runs. And it is the same thing for both of them. So here's where it slightly differs. We will be changing one of these. So basically, Essien will be the better of the two defensively, and Acuna will be the better of the two going forward. I think Acuna is better defensively, but Acuna is much better going forward. So Acuna will be our player that we set to go a bit more forward. So we want them both, obviously, to cover center because they are central midfielders. We want him, who's going to be our attacking-ish midfielder, kind of the player that's better on the ball and better going forward. We want to set to balance attack, and then we will be setting our better defensive player that we will have as our more defensive midfielder set to stay back while attacking. We don't want to drop between defenders with this one because there's such There's such a very, very fine line between getting counterattacked in this formation and, avoiding the counterattack. I cover center, of course, with both normal interceptions because, again, for some reason, when you up the interceptions to aggressive interceptions, the stamina just seems to get killed. Stick to position and cover center, like I said, for both. So that is the main differences between those two. And then obviously, as per usual, with this formation, with these formation guides that I always do, stay back while attacking, and we'll be doing the overlap run type. I personally like the overlap run type when you do send them forward because it does allow them to create more chances if your wingers or your outside midfielders cut inside. It allows your fullbacks to overlap and create more chances. They will be then crossing to 4 to 6 players instead of just 2 or 3. So it just gives them much more attacking freedom when you do have them set to overlap. So like I said, overlap there and stay back while attacking. As far as pattern of play with this, I've noticed that it's a very neutral, very X-pass style of play formation. You don't want to be doing a ton with triangle passes. The only time that you will be playing a triangle pass in this formation is if you have the ball in the center of the pitch with either of your two midfielders and you're looking to play a straight line breaking pass with a triangle through ball, or if you are using your fullbacks and you are trying to play a through ball down the wings to your wingers. That is the only time in this formation that you will need to play a through ball, potentially if you are with a midfielder and your wingers are making a run down the line, but that is it. You will never be trying to play a through ball from the back to your midfielders, or really any other time your wingers to your strikers. It really doesn't present many opportunities to be playing triangle through balls. X passes, like I said, other than the couple of opportunities for triangle through passes, X passes will be the number one way to play this. You want to play this as fast as possible, but like I said, we are going to be using the balanced offensive style so that way we don't get caught out. We don't have players making runs and getting over aggressive. We want to play aggressive without having our CPU AI getting aggressive, with as much sense as that makes. Guys, that is it for the 4-4-2 video. I've been asked a couple of questions in the comments about why I don't put gameplay into these videos, and the answer is simple. I play a certain style of football, I play a certain style of gameplay in FIFA, and it's going to differ from everyone else. Someone is going to do more skills than I do, someone's going to do less skills than I do, and do more passing, more quick passing, more movements off the ball. So for me, I don't think it's beneficial to give you gameplay clips because it's going to be different from person to person. If you do have more questions and want to see this formation in action, I do stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch. I'll leave my link in the description below. I am live on those nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 a.m. UK. I play Rivals, I play Champs, I do Objectives, and I play with viewers all the time on pro clubs. So if you want to see these formations in action, head on over to the Twitch, and we'll see you in the next stream. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. If you are new to the channel, make sure you smash the subscribe button, leave a like on the video, and we will see you in the next video. Peace, fellas.